Howdy, 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 and welcome to episode 3 of WWW. What a week in wrestling. We're going to give you some news, some reviews, some FWL Fantasy Wrestling League information, and a new feature at the end that we started last week, Collector's Corner. I know some of you enjoyed that very much last week. Let's kick off with the news. Sami Zayn has come out and said that he's scared of coming back to work during the COVID crisis that's currently ongoing in the world. Completely understandable. Everyone's got their own opinions, their own fears. It's brave of him to express that, so kudos to him for that one. It'll be interesting to see what the WWE do with the Intercontinental title, should it be a long-term situation. Becky Lynch. There's been interesting rumours this week that she's going to fly the nest. She's got a career move planned in television and movies. She's got a role apparently in an upcoming Marvel movie. Who hasn't these days? I'm surprised I've not been in one yet. And she's also on a premiere of a show in the US called Billions tonight. A couple of injury report this week. Kevin Owens has injured his ankle, which is why he's not been on TV recently. And Jimmy Uso has injured his knee. So that's why the Usos haven't been on. Probably won't use Jey Uso. WWE have a habit of not using a tag team partner if one of them gets injured, which is a shame. Rumours of an AJ Styles return. I know he's not been off TV for very long, but a return, obviously without the OC, who aren't with him anymore. I'm assuming he'll still pick up the heel character. Be great to see him. Massive AJ Styles fan. At one time, he was the only reason I watched TNA. Definitely in my top 10 of all time. Viking Raiders. It was advertised that they were getting a title shot on Raw this week. That seems to be off the cards now. I can only imagine it's to do with the build-up and they're just going to put it on Money in the Bank pay-per-view instead. Dark Side of the Ring this week contained the story of Dr. David Schultz, who was in the WWF in the mid-80s. Had an incident with a reporter which led to his career in the WWF being over. A lawsuit, etc., due to the kayfabe issue of was WWF real at the time. Really interesting episode. One of my favourites so far. The ones that are my favourites seem to be the ones that I don't know much about the wrestlers, such as the Von Erichs. That was brilliant as well. So even if you don't feel like you know anything about them and won't enjoy it, give it a go. It's amazing. Chris Jericho provides some of the narration on it as well. Results this week then. Let's start with AEW, focused on the TNT title tournament. As expected and predicted, Cody Rhodes defeated Darby Allin, made Darby look very strong in that match, and Lance Archer defeated Dustin Rhodes. I was going to say Goldust then, but definitely not, Dustin Rhodes. It didn't make Dustin look weak, but there was a little bit of a destruction aspect, which there needed to be. I have no idea who's going to win that match. You could say Cody because he wants to be part of the AEW history, but he is part of the history because he created it. So maybe Lance Archer will take it. Who knows? That'll be an interesting one. Looking forward to watching that one. There were wins for Wardlow, future champion in mind. Kind of reminds me of a Diesel Batista type bodyguard push. Could lead to something big for him. Best friends. They're brilliant at the moment in AEW, really enjoying them. Can't get the theme tune out of my head. Chuck Taylor and Trent, very much enjoying them with Orange Cassidy at the sidelines as well. Sean Spears and Brody Lee, again, being made to look very strong. Looks like a big push for those two at the moment. Raw, Money in the Bank feature, Apollo Crews. There was no actual matches, but Apollo Crews got injured in the storyline against Andrade, which put Apollo Crews out of Money in the Bank. So the replacement will be announced this week. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander being made to look strong. They have a new tag team name of the Two Fly Crew. Interesting. It suits them. Not a big fan of it myself, but it suits them, so that's good. MVP going to be acting as a manager or advisor or something similar for Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink, who are going to be against them this week on Raw. They've just been used as jobbers on Raw, so it'll be interesting to see if this is part of a little push, maybe. The return of Jinder Mahal. Big fan of Jinder. I hope it leads to a bit of a feud between him and McIntyre, maybe leading into SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Jinder's brilliant. His moveset didn't go anywhere. He's not brought in anything massively new. So it'd be good to see him do that. If you think I'm wrong on that, drop a comment. Lashley got a bit of a crush victory. Again, I think it's building for Lashley. Something big. Smackdown concentrated on Money in the Bank. Progressions for Carmella, who defeated Mandy Rose with the help of Sonya Deville. And Otis, didn't expect that. He defeated Dolph Ziggler. But with Apollo Crews being out, I'm assuming another heel will come into play, which makes sense. And having Otis in the match in the style they're going to do it will give it a comedy aspect, which might be good, might be horrendous. Sheamus got another crush victory this week, kind of setting up with a bit of a Jeff Hardy feud when Jeff comes back. They've been building up Jeff's return through some video sequences. That'll be great for Jeff. He really brings it to the table when he's against somebody that you wouldn't expect him to be matched with. So a big brute like Sheamus will be great for Jeff. SmackDown Tag Team situation improving again. Forgotten Sons, Blake and Cutler getting a win over the New Day non-title. At least they're doing something with it, like I said last week. NXT concentrating on the Cruiserweight Interim Title Tournament. Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated El Hijo del Fantasma. Strange one for me, but there's a twist in the tail coming with Fantasma, so maybe it'll make sense down the line. Drake Maverick, don't like the storyline, don't want to talk about the storyline. He defeated Tony Nese. Bit of a push for Candice LeRae. She's always been seen as Johnny Gargano's wife. At least they've integrated that into part of the storyline. She's now being viewed as going out on her own. It's about her, which is a great storyline to do. And I'm excited to see her push because she's a good wrestler. Charlotte, nice little match against Mia Yim for the NXT Women's title. Nice to see Charlotte wrestling on NXT. She's still on the Raw roster on WWE.com. Will she get moved over permanently? Who knows? It was headlined by Keith Lee, keeping the North American title against Damian Priest. Priest looked quite strong in that match, which was good. NXT UK featured 4 unseen matches from the recent past. A lot nicer to see that, and a lot more interesting for me anyway than a special. There is a special next week on Imperium, though. I'm a massive Imperium fan, so that will probably be a good one. So Money in the Bank is building nicely. The 3 matches that we have already covered is Rollins-McIntyre, some good build-up on Raw. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, no real idea how that match is going to go. And Bayley-Tamina. The new match that's been added in is a 4-way, fatal 4-way for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. New Day against Miz and Morrison, against the Forgotten Sons, against the Lucha House Party. Lucha House Party were fantastic in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, so I'm really excited to see them in it. They won't win it, but I'm excited that they've got a part in it because Gran Metalik especially is a fantastic wrestler. So I'm excited to see that match. The actual Money in the Bank matches, the stipulation of how it's going to go has changed a little bit this week. They're going to run simultaneously at the same time. I've got a feeling it might end up running through the whole show in a kind of movie style, but I just hope it doesn't end up being like a 24/7 title scramble. If it does, I want to see R-Truth there, somewhere in it, getting confused that he's not part of the match, because that would be amazing. So the men are shaping up as Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, and Otis, with the mystery one to be put in on Raw this week. The women, all 6 are set now. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. I'd love to see a Lacey Evans victory, but it doesn't really make sense in the storyline. I've got a feeling Baszler and Jax might feud next, so them 2 might take each other out. I can see Asuka winning this one. Right, that's the review of the week as far as matches. Let's get to the FWL now. A good week for Apollo Crews. He is the wrestler of the week on average, based on the value that he's worth in the FWL. So this week he was worth 5.22 points per million. The 4-week one hasn't changed, so over a 4-week average, Drew McIntyre is still number one, 14.25 points per million. And the yearly one hasn't changed. AEW is represented by Shawn Spears, 2.44 points per million. It's a low one because AEW started a bit later in our league. And Aleister Black still leads the men's. Never seems to be a week where he doesn't win. 11.44 points per million Aleister Black is worth. If you want to get any transfers in, message me directly. Be good to maybe get some before Money in the Bank. There is some bonus points in Money in the Bank for the Money in the Bank winners, which could be good for you. Money in the Bank competition has been announced over 2 weeks. Everyone's in a league and the winners go on to a Money in the Bank ladder match. All based on points, everyone's included, and the winner of that will be able to change their whole team once before SummerSlam by cashing in their briefcase. Okay, Collector's Corner. First one, going to give a little bit of a shout out to a league that, a group that I've joined on Facebook called the EWC, the Elite Wrestling Community. If you get a chance, send them a request to join, check them out. Really excited about this group. It's a really nice group to be in. Lots of charity things, and they've got a charity raffle going on at the moment, all to do with Mind charity. Lots of people have donated prizes. The Fantasy Wrestling League have donated an Elite SummerSlam King Mabel figure to the great cause. They've already made quite a lot of money on it. I really hope they make a lot more. Good luck, guys. Okay, I have made a custom this week. A custom Mattel Elite 1985 Hart Foundation era Bret the Hitman Hart. So that will look great in my 1985 collection just behind me. Bought some divas, a collection of divas this week. Bayley, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, people like that. And I've also bought an accessories bundle this week containing accessories for lots of the rarer Mattels. Chavo Guerrero's poncho, Legion of Doom, Red Spikes, Demolition's helmet, and some Demolition attire, and lots of other things which you can see in the photo above. They'll all be going on eBay at some point, I would imagine, for the collectors that need them. And the very, very last bit of Collector's Corner is an exciting one. It arrived this week. It is the WrestleMania 36 chair. Obviously, no bums have sat in that seat because there was no crowd on hand. I only own one other chair, so to have that in my collection, it's a bit of a new one. I can't see me collecting loads and loads of them, but it's a fantastic one to have in, especially considering the circumstances of there not actually being a crowd at WrestleMania. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'm a fledgling. I am new to this, so any extra is really appreciated, guys. That has been Adamius at WWW. What a week in wrestling. See you next week.